winter in the hills. So today I'm back in Wales and I'm heading for Moel Siabod, which you can see a bit of snow, a bit of cloud on the background. It's days like these where you wish you had someone to share it with. Oh, look. First time he's appeared in one of my films, but that's Martin.
Hello.
And he's my twin brother. So we're heading up. It's pretty cold. What was it this morning? -2.
Yeah.
So quite an early start. About an hour and a half drive down. Sun is out. Searing blue sky. It's cold, but we're heading up there. Don't know whether we'll get to the top, but we're going to take some images on the way up. So stay tuned. First stop of the day at this lovely little lake. Not even sure if this has got I'll check on the map, but I'm not even sure this has got a name. It's that small. But I seem to make a habit of making films where I'm stood near waterfalls. So it's a little tiny one. But anyway, so reason I've stopped here. Lovely bit of calm water on this lake, and then hopefully a reflection and view of Moel Siabod. You can see there's a bit of cloud at the moment, and I'm waiting for some of the clouds to move because it'd be nice to get the peak with the dusting, a bit of dusting of snow on the top. Nice to get the peak with the snow on and the reflection. So while I'm waiting for the cloud to clear, hopefully the clouds are clear, I'll talk you through the setup. So I've gone clearly kind of vertical panorama, and if you see here, there's this nice bit of rock. And hopefully you can see there's lines, the way the rock is formed, there's lines running that way. So I'm using that as a bit of a lead in because it's pointing quite nicely across the lake and up to the mountain. So I'll show you I'll brighten this, but those rocks I was talking about are down. Hopefully you can see, and there's not too much reflection, but they're down here. So from my bottom left hand corner, I've positioned them so they're shooting and pointing towards the mountain. And hopefully you can see as well there's nice reflection, and I've gone portrait because I need to capture those lines. You can also probably see there's quite a contrast between those clouds and the darkness in the mountain side, but I'm hoping when the clouds clear it becomes a bit more balanced. Oh, here comes a dog to say hello. Hello. Seems keen, probably trying to scav a sandwich off us. But when the clouds clear, what I'm hoping is it's not such a contrast, and then I'll be able to take a shot. I've used hyperfocal distance calculation, so I've pre-focused down here, a couple of meters in front of the camera. I've done a film on hyperfocal distance, so I'll put the link in up here. So just waiting for that cloud to clear, and then hopefully get some images. And oh look, he's working on some as well. Just copying me, God blimey. But yeah, be good if that clears. It's quite nice actually. I've taken a couple already with the clouds because that's quite nice, but it'd be nice if it clears as well. Oh, the dog's come back as well. Seems keen to be friendly. So there we go, the cloud has cleared, and fantastic definition on the peak because of the snow. Gotten really sharp edges along the peak of Moel Siabod. So just fantastic. So I'll show you the you can see the clear definition there. In fact I'm going to take an image now. Just a bit of cloud coming in the top corner, which I don't really want, so I might have to wait a little bit longer. But I've got my polarizer in just to deepen the blue. So it's deepening the blue, it takes some of the shine off the water, but no filter, on the basis that the contrast now, because the cloud has gone, isn't that huge. Because although there's sun shining on the snow, it's not bright white, it's not as white as the clouds, and there's a good balance in the rocks in the foreground here and in the surface of the lake. So just a polarizer, no filter, but more cloud appearing. But I think that's moving across. So once that cloud has moved again, take some more images. Well, we've made it up to the bigger of the kind of lakes. So previous film, quite a small lake. This one, I think it's called Llyn y Fowel, right at the base of the mountain, Moel Siabod. So, and it's absolutely spectacular. In fact, I don't know, is it damning faint praise for me to say something like you could be in the Alps or anywhere, but look at that, you know, the view is just absolutely spectacular. Blue sky, snow on the peak, sun shining in from a right angle, great contrast of shadow, sun, nice calm lake, reflection, what more you can ask. And he made it as well. He's benefiting from my expert tuition and taking some photos. He's got a fisheye lens, so if he posts them somewhere, I can put a link in if you post them before I've edited this video. So if he posts them before I've edited this video, I'll put a link into his images, as long as they're not better than mine. So just talk to you what I'm doing, because obviously it's quite a grand vista from the start of the, so that is the ascent route. I think it's called Dair Du. So that's the ascent route up Moel Siabod, and then obviously you've got kind of this coombe. So trying to take one single image probably won't work, because you won't get the splendour of the view. So I'm doing a panorama, and again, just got my polarizer in, because although there's some brightness in the snow and the cloud, it's actually quite well lit right across the scene, because the sun's coming in from a nice angle, and you've got the benefit of the brightness in the cloud, and the snow is reflected in the water. So it's working quite well. Probably need to do a little bit of work in Lightroom later, but hopefully not too much. So I just got the polarizer in, again it's dark in the blue, and I'm going to do a landscape panorama, which will probably be 2 images or so, and then I'll do a portrait, but I'll show you the landscape, because I think I've shown you a few portrait panoramas recently, but I'll just swing you around. And this might be one of those shots where it's quite hard for you to see, but you could probably see the cloud is really blown out. I'm actually waiting for that cloud to move, but I'm going to go for one image there, and then just undo my tripod a little bit. One image about there, so kind of that sort of range. So I'm going from just the edge of the ascent to a kind of here. I don't want to go too far, because there's these rocks here, and I think it would block the view a bit too much. So I'm on f11, which gives me I've hyperfocal distance again. So it gives me nice view, nice depth of field range, and my only real challenge is the where the shadow is coming off the ridge. Lack of definition, probably in that shadow, but I'm happy to live with that, because it actually shows, I think, that the height of the ridge. You know, if there was no shadow there, it would look a bit flat. So the shadow gives it a bit of depth, a bit of 3D. So hopefully that makes sense. So when those clouds have shifted over, I'll do probably two landscape, and then maybe 4 panorama, and then I'll post the images. And then I think once we've done here, we might have some lunch. Did you bring any lunch? Yeah. Did you bring me any lunch? Yeah. And then might just go up onto the ridge there, because I think there's a potential view that way. But I don't think today we're going to go up onto the peak, primarily because it's snowy and icy, and it's treacherous underfoot, apparently, that ascent. So probably not going to try that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to lunch anyway. I'm as high as I'm going to get today, I think. Come up from the lake, which is just over there. I think got some good images there, but we're at the base of the approach to the summit, and you can see it's quite there's a plane flying over. It's quite a climb up quite a sharp peak. I'd go for it in the summer, I think. I'm not going to go for it today, because even at this level, the rocks are like glass. It's slippy. So there's people doing it, but probably not with a load of camera gear on their backs. So what I'm going to do is head back round the other side of the lake, back down the way we came, and then if we've got time, go and try and take some images of Trevan, because we came past that first thing this morning and it looked kind of nice with the snow on the peak. So head back down that way and then see if we end up at Trevan. Thought you might just enjoy a last view. Well and truly on the way back down. It was a bit tricky, very, very slippy, lots of ice. In fact, a couple of places it felt like on a skating rink, but there's Moel Siabod in the background, and then over there Canon EF and kind of the Ogwen range. So we're heading in that direction when we get back down to the car. And just got to watch my footing. See how we get on. If possible, going to try and get to a spot where we can get some shots of Trevan, but that'll depend on whether there's any parking spaces and kind of what the weather is like. Well, not the weather, where the sun is. If the sun's in the wrong position, it's gone down, probably not much point, but we'll see. Oh, look, he's still following me. Absolute mad dash to get here. Last little bit of sun on Trevan. You might recognise this if you've been watching, if you're subscribing and watched previous videos. My film from Llyn Ogwen. I was over there taking images up that way, but last little bit of light on the snow, and I can't actually get out into the middle because there's ice on the rocks. It's too slippy. I wasn't going to risk it, so quickly set up here, just trying to catch that last bit of light. So there's a last bit of light on Trevan, but there's also that light on here. Does that make sense? There's that weir here. It's a nice balance. So if I show you the image here, there's the light up here and then the light down in the corner. And what I'm going to do is just do a panorama like that. So just get that lined up properly. I'm focused on the peak of Trevan. I've taken my exposure reading from the peak because what I'm most interested in that light. And anything lost in the darkness is not too dark. I can pull back in Lightroom. So I'm taking one there and just spin it around a little bit. One there because I want to get the weir in as well, and hopefully that makes a nice composition. It's freezing cold. The wind's blowing right down the lake, and I've two coats on, but still it's freezing cold. And there's Martin. Bless him. He's suffering with the cold as well, I think. So, and he's got a cold. So, but that's glorious. That is no filter, just my polarizer on, and you'll be sick of me saying it by now. Just to add a bit of blue to the sky. There we go. I'll do another one. Spin that. I think that'll be quite nice. And I'm going to do portrait one just to give myself a bit more room to play with, and then I'll probably be done, but I'll speak to you in a second. Well, that was a mad dash. So, literally came, the plan was to be at the other end of the lake, but sun was a bit low in the sky, so came down to this end of the lake, found a car parking space and just dashed and legged it, to get that last bit of sun. So hopefully they turn all right, and I wasn't too garbled in what I was saying. So hope you've enjoyed the day out. I'm absolutely freezing now. It's colder here than it was up in the mountains, so going to get back to the car. Sorry I'm not looking at you, but it's a bit treacherous underfoot. Tell me if Martin falls over in the background. So back to the car, gonna have a cup of tea and head home. So thanks for watching. Thanks for all the subscribers. Great. Kind of a lot more than I anticipated, so really appreciate it. And don't forget the time limited print. Oh, and one final thing. A couple of people have been in touch to ask me if I'll do like one-to-one or workshops, and I'm planning to, but let me know if you'd be interested. So I'll take a judgment on what I offer depending on what you're interested in. So let me know, and See you next time. Bye.